Most women follow generic skincare routines that are not tailored to their skin types and wonder why they don't see the results they want. I'm a dermatologist, Dr. Chinonso, and I treat patients with every skin type imaginable. I've learned that the difference between okay skin and amazing skin comes down to personalization, using the right products that are right for your skin type and your skin needs. And today I'm going to break down the ultimate skincare routine and show you how to customize it for oily, dry, and sensitive skin so that you can finally achieve the radiant, glowing skin that you want in 4 to 6 weeks. These are the 4 non-negotiable steps for every skincare routine, no exceptions. So regardless of your skin type, whether you have dry, oily, or sensitive skin, every skincare routine is going to be built on the same 4 foundational steps. That's going to be cleanse, treat, moisturize, and protect. So these steps are not optional, they're essential. It's not going to be whether you choose to do them, it's going to be how you choose to do them and which products you choose to support your skin in your journey. So you can think of your skincare regimen like choosing your nutrition, right? Everyone's going to need proteins, everyone needs fats and carbs, but the types of ingredients you choose and the amount or the portion sizes will vary by the individual. Skincare works the same way, and some of the biggest mistakes that I see is certain skin types choosing to skip steps that they don't think apply to them. So for instance, oily skin completely choosing to skip moisturizers, or dry sensitive skin completely choosing to avoid cleansing. All skin types need all 4 foundational steps, but the type, and maybe even we can argue the frequency, is going to be tailored to your specific needs. So let's talk about why the product order also matters in how you apply them. You can have the most expensive products in the world, but if you're not layering them properly, you're not going to get the best use out of them. A good rule of thumb is you always want to try to apply the thinnest to thickest products. So the thinner products are typically going to have smaller molecules that penetrate your skin more deeply, and your thicker products are sometimes going to have ingredients that are more occlusive and can seal in the things that were layered prior to it. So think about it. If you're applying these thicker occlusive creams prior to, say, a thinner serum that has some nice active ingredients that could really benefit your skin, you're not going to get the most out of each product. Studies confirm that applying your products in the wrong order prevent them from working as intended. So typically your sequence is going to be cleanser, treatment, say with your treatment serums or your treatment products, moisturizer, and then protection if we're talking about your morning routine. And this sequence is going to apply to all skin types, but will change depending on the products and the amount of products and the frequency that you need them. One of the biggest myths that I hear is that I have oily skin, so I don't need moisturizer, and this could not be further from the truth. This is actually quite backwards. So if your skin is typically oily, but you're not applying moisturizer, your skin now becomes dry and actually goes into panic mode and produces even more oil. So studies show that if you have oily skin, you could benefit from using a lighter weight moisturizer or maybe even a gel moisturizer. When your skin is properly moisturized, it will actually produce less oil over time. The key for you if you have oily skin is choosing something that might be oil-free or non-comedogenic. You can even look into products that are labeled as mattifying. So let's talk about some of the active ingredients that you can incorporate if you do have oily skin. For oily skin, you want to focus on products that help regulate sebum and also help unclog your pores. These are going to include things like salicylic acid, which is a BHA that helps penetrate those oil clogged pores to help break down some of that buildup and oil production. Niacinamide is another ingredient that helps regulate inflammation and oil production. Retinols or retinoids are also going to be very helpful in helping you regulate your oil production and also improve your overall cell turnover. Now remember, one of the biggest mistakes that I see is that if you're starting for the first time, throwing all of these at your skin can cause significant irritation. So you want to layer them in and give it it time for your skin to adjust to these new products. So for instance, if you're starting out with a salicylic acid for the first time and you find that you're having a little bit of sensitivity or irritation, then just stop there. Use that product over time. You can use it every other day if you need to, but get used to that product before you jump into another one. Then you can consider maybe adding your retinol or your retinoid down the line, maybe after a week or two. And even with that, you can still start to introduce it 1 to 2 times per week. But this is going to be helpful, especially if you have oily skin and if your skin is acne prone. Those two tend to go together. In fact, according to the American Academy of Dermatology, they recommend starting with a salicylic acid or a benzoyl peroxide if you have mild acne, and this is something that I commonly use in my patients, and then introducing a retinol or a retinoid because that's going to help improve your cell turnover and start to even out your complexion and help keep your sebum production at bay. But remember, consistency and patience are really going to be helpful here. It can take 6 to 12 weeks for you to start to see improvement. So just use it consistently, pay attention to the feedback that your skin is giving you, and just worry about your own journey. Sometimes people even go through a difficult purging period when you're starting these exfoliating products for the first time. Sometimes it gets worse before it gets better. So again, just be patient and be consistent and walk your own path. So let's walk through what a complete skincare regimen in the morning would look like for somebody who has oily skin. So of course you want to start with your cleanser. Again, you can consider a salicylic acid cleanser. It can be a foaming cleanser or a gel cleanser that you would use in the morning. Layer that on, lather that on, let that sit for just a few seconds, and then you can rinse. Then you can follow that with a lightweight serum, something that maybe contains a niacinamide or a vitamin C. That's going to help calm your skin if you're using a niacinamide, or focus on brightening and evening out your texture if we're focusing on a vitamin C serum. Then you can follow that with a lightweight moisturizer, whether that's a gel moisturizer or just a light cream or a mattifying moisturizer. Then you can follow that with your lightweight SPF of at least 30, and you're going to want to do that especially before you go out for the day. That can be a nice regimen for the morning if you have oily or acne prone skin. Now for a night routine, if you have oily skin, especially if you wore makeup or your nice sunscreen throughout the day, you can start with cleansing your skin with a micellar water and double cleansing with a gentle cleanser. Now if your skin still feels quite oily, you can use your salicylic acid wash again, but if you're feeling like, okay, you had enough of that in the morning, then you can just use a gentle cleanser since you cleansed with the active salicylic acid in the morning. Then you can follow with your retinoid. You can, again, if you're starting, you can use this once every other day or maybe even fewer times per week until you're able to work yourself up to every night. You can start with just a pea-sized amount. Then you can follow that again with an oil-free or a mattifying moisturizer, something that makes you feel adequately moisturized without clogging your pores. The key to treating oily skin is nourishing your skin using the actives that's going to help break down that pore clogging without stripping your skin barrier too much. Remember, if you're overly harsh with your skin, that will trigger more oil production. So take your time and again, pay attention to your skin's feedback. By the way, if you want to learn my system to achieve your clear skin goals without the internet confusion or overwhelm, be sure to check the first link in my description below. But first, let me show you the ultimate routine for dry, dehydrated skin. Now, there are some technical differences between dry and dehydrated skin. Dry skin lacks oil and dehydrated skin lacks hydration or water. So you can actually have oily, dehydrated skin. I know it's confusing, but if you've felt this before, you probably know what I'm talking about. But that key distinction can be the difference in the type of products that you choose. For instance, dry skin lacking oil may benefit from thicker creams, ceramides, things that are a bit more occlusive, whereas dehydrated skins, you may focus more on humectants such as glycerin or hyaluronic acid. The distinction seems small, but it could be the difference in how you choose your products. So for instance, for dry skin, you may focus more on lipids or oils or thicker creams, whereas dehydrated skin, you may focus more on humectants that draw water into your skin, such as hyaluronic acid or glycerin. Now, most people with dry skin also have dehydrated hydrated skin, and so you could be looking for ingredients that have all of these things. So for instance, on the website for the American Academy of Dermatology, if you look where dry skin is discussed, it actually recommends using moisturizers that have both humectants and emollients. Signs that you have dry skin could include things like flaking, feeling tightness, dryness, itchiness, irritation, fine lines. The good news is that of course we have solutions to this, and so again, you want to focus on those ingredients that are really going to be helpful for nurturing, repairing, hydrating, and moisturizing your skin barrier. So let's talk about why ceramides can be so key for those who have dry skin. So ceramides are important fatty molecules that are a key part of your skin's natural barrier. Now, of course, your skin barrier is very important. It keeps what we want in and keeps the things that we don't want out. So when you have dry skin, you could be lacking in ceramides, which disrupts the function of your skin barrier and can lead to things like increased transepidermal water loss and unfortunately allow things like more irritants to come in. There are research studies that show that people with eczema or psoriasis or drier skin do have lower amounts of ceramides present. But thankfully, we have ceramide-rich products that can help replenish those ceramides topically, and using these ceramide-rich ingredients or ceramide-rich products can be very helpful for replenishing those ceramides and helping to store back up your skin barrier. So if you have dry skin, you want to look for ingredients that have ceramides, lipids, and cholesterol, because again, this is going to be helpful for restoring your skin barrier and keeping your skin well moisturized. And certain brands that do this well include CeraVe, Skin Fix, and Vanicream. So let's go over what a complete skincare morning routine would look like if you have dry skin. So first, you're going to want to cleanse with a nice creamy hydrating cleanser and rinse with lukewarm water. Now, if you did not wear makeup and you already did your routine the night before, there are some of my colleagues who do agree that you don't need to cleanse in the morning. So this is going to vary from person to person. If you feel that your skin is dry and properly cleansed already, then you can just rinse with water. Then you want to apply a nice hydrating serum. So that's going to include ingredients like a hyaluronic acid or a niacinamide. And it's best to do this while your skin is still damp, because things like hyaluronic acid are humectants and they draw water into the skin. So it's going to be nice to be able to trap that water into your skin. And then you want to layer with a nice ceramide rich or a thick cream moisturizer that's going to help seal in all of that goodness. And then of course you want to apply a sunscreen that's not going to dry your skin out, so avoid anything that says mattifying or maybe even oil-free. Now for a night routine, you can double cleanse. So you can start with an oil-based cleanser and then follow that with a hydrating cleanser. And then you can again apply a hydrating serum or a hydrating essence. And then you can follow with a retinol. Now you want to be careful if your skin is on the drier side, obviously. Many people with dry skin cannot tolerate a retinoid or a retinol. If it's your first time, definitely start with the lowest strength possible of an over-the-counter retinol. And you want to use a small pea-sized amount and maybe even start just a few times a week to give your skin time to adjust. Then of course your last step is going to be using a thicker cream to help seal all of that in. Now, optional step, I don't always do this, especially if you're prone to breakouts, but there are some people who may benefit from sealing all of that in additionally with just a layer of oil to prevent additional transepidermal water loss throughout the night. Now, if you're in a dry climate, or especially during the winter time, another bonus tip is to use a humidifier in your room throughout the night. We're running our heaters throughout this time. Things are just really dry, and having a humidifier in your room can really help hydrate your skin and prevent that excessive dryness that we can experience, especially during drier times of the year or drier climates. So let's talk about what the ultimate routine would look like if you have more sensitive skin. Now, the key for sensitive skin is that you want to think about a minimalist approach. So less is actually more, because you're going to be very easily irritated if you have sensitive skin. So you don't need to just be loading in a bunch of products all at once. You don't need a bunch of toners, a bunch of acids, a bunch of scrubbing pads. Just keep your skincare regimen simple, and that will be the most effective for you. So I would say probably max per routine is going to be 3 to 4 products, and definitely fragrance-free hypoallergenic products are going to be best for you. So if you have sensitive skin, ingredients that you want to avoid include fragrance, high concentrations of acids, strong concentrations of retinols or retinoids. You want to focus more on things like your ceramides, your centella asiatica, niacinamide, colloidal oatmeal, even squalene, which is thought to mimic your skin's natural oils. And of course, if you're extremely prone to irritation, it never hurts to do a small patch test anytime you're trying out a new product to make sure your skin is agreeable to this product before you go slathering it all over your face, especially if you have an event coming up around the corner. So let's talk about what a complete sensitive skincare routine would look like. In the morning, you want to cleanse with a ultra creamy, hydrating, gentle cleanser. And then of course, rinse with a lukewarm water. Then you can follow that with a simple ceramide rich moisturizer. And then of course, it's going to be especially important to use a mineral based sunscreen. I would avoid chemical based sunscreens if you have very sensitive skin, because that can be one of your potential allergens or potential triggers for a flare or potential irritant. So again, focus on a physical sunscreen. And physical sunscreens in America will include things like your zinc oxide or your titanium dioxide. And then at night, you can cleanse with that same creamy, hydrating, rich cleanser, and then follow with a barrier repair rich moisturizer. That can be it for you. Now, if you want to introduce actives, I'm not saying that it's completely off limits for you, but you want to go very slowly. So if you're introducing a retinol, for instance, start with the lowest strength and start maybe once a week, maybe twice a week, but really just go slow, give your skin time to adjust. And if at any point you experience significant irritation when you're adding in actives, then I would just stop this and focus on your barrier support ingredients, such as the ones in your rich moisturizer for nighttime. Now, some people with sensitive skin may never be able to tolerate certain actives like your acids, even your low dose retinols, and that's okay. You can focus more on your prevention and your barrier support. And another hack that I like to do for sensitive skin, if you're not able to tolerate things like active chemical ingredients or chemical peels, actually focus more on device treatments in office, such as lasers, and then using very simple skincare. I tend to avoid things like chemical peels in these types of patients. Now, the key to achieving your glowing, radiant skin is not finding that one miracle product. It's also not finding or following the longest, most complicated routine. It's finding the routine that is specific to you and what works for your skin type and your skin needs. Doing this in the right order consistently every day is what's going to make the biggest difference. I've seen this work for thousands of my patients. Once they stopped following generic skincare advice and started personalizing it to their needs, they watched their skin transform in ways that they did not even think were possible. Now, if you want to learn my system for achieving clear, radiant skin without the internet confusion and without the overwhelm, be sure to click the link in my description below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. I'll see you in the next video.